was really difficult narrowing down my choices of favorite books. I grew up loving books, I've taught literature, and I have read many, many books with my children and grandchildren. One of my favorite books, and that was probably my favorite because my mother loved it so much, was Robert McCloskey's Make Way for Ducklings. The struggles of the duckling family to find a good place to live in Boston is hilarious in some of the escapades of the ducks, and the illustrations by McCloskey are amazing. So I love that one. And my son said to say how terrific Richard Scarry books were when he was growing up, and maybe just the lively illustrations were very appealing to boys and girls. And so I adore the Richard Scarry books too. During my teaching time, I grew to absolutely love middle school literature and found that there were amazingly powerful books written for middle schoolers, probably more in that era than there were for high schoolers, and I mean many more. And there was an explosion of middle school literature when, while I was teaching and before I was teaching. I adored teaching The Giver by Lois Lowry, working on it with children. And Liddy is a powerful novel about a young girl in New England. And intriguingly, there were great pieces of literature for middle schoolers about various regions of our country written. Liddy's set in New England, and then probably my absolute favorite is Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred Taylor. And it's set in the South in the 1920s and 30s, and the family, the Logan family, are an African-American family struggling against the prejudice in the town. And there's anger against the Logan family stemmed mainly, I believe, from the fact that the Logans had been able to buy hundreds of acres of land over several generations, and that made white people in their community very angry. And that anger exhibited itself in massively inferior treatment for the African American families. In school, the children had very poor facilities and materials compared with the rest of the children in the town. But the Logans were very strong, and their strength helped them combat this prejudice. And the dramatic events throughout the novel of Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry make it powerful and intriguing for middle schoolers. So I thought it would be great to have a middle school book today. And this fast-paced story is my absolute favorite middle school book. I also love a graphic novel called Persepolis, which is great for middle school or above, set in Iran around the time of the revolution in Iran. And it's won many awards, and I suggested it to some high school teachers, and I just heard that one of the high school teachers, as well as others, used this book in their high school literature courses for years. And then in the current day, I love that there are so many books written of fantasy, and I'm reading for younger children the Fairy Realm series with my granddaughter, and it is just delightful with all kinds of magic creatures. So that wraps up my love of literature, and I enjoyed talking to you about it.